It has been said. That in the end of all things, we would find a new beginning. But as the shadow once again crawls across our world, and the stench of terror drifts on a bitter wind, the people pray for strength and guidance. They should pray for the mercy of a swift death. For I have seen what the darkness hides. I don't think it's safe here.
And at the end of days, justice shall fall upon the world of men.
Since the dawn of time, a perpetual war called the Eternal Conflict has raged between the hosts of the high heavens and the legions of the burning hells. Amid this battle, a group of rebellious angels and demons sought refuge. And so, they created the mortal realm of Sanctuary, using a monolithic crystal known as the World Stone. Hidden from the eyes of the heavens and the hells, Sanctuary became an oasis of peace. But its serenity did not last. In time, evil crept into the world and began a relentless crusade to twist the souls of mankind to its dark will. Players were invited to take on the role of a lone hero and explore Tristram, a town under siege by Diablo, the Lord of Terror, and his hordes of foul demons. With the help of the wise Horadric scholar Deckard Cain and other memorable characters such as Wirt and Ogden, players ventured into the haunted tombs, catacombs, and caverns sprawling beneath the town, and faced nightmarish foes like the Butcher, the Skeleton King, and eventually the Lord of Terror himself. Diablo 2's 4-act story would lead players on a gripping campaign to track down the lone hero who had defeated Diablo in the first game. In the wake of his victory, this mortal champion had sought to imprison the Lord of Terror within himself. While his intentions were noble, the hero fell to the Lord of Terror's corruptive influence. Known afterward as the Dark Wanderer, he set out to find two of the Burning Hell's other demon lords, Baal, the Lord of Destruction, and Mephisto, the Lord of Hatred. Diablo 2's cinematics would tell the story from the viewpoint of Marius, a tragic character accompanying the Dark Wanderer. In-game, players would witness the aftermath of the Wanderer's deeds as they raced to thwart his quest. The adventure would also introduce players to characters both old and new, including the familiar scholar Deckard Cain and the noble Tyrael, the Archangel of Justice. Diablo 2's expansion set, Lord of Destruction, continued the harrowing story of Sanctuary's heroes. After defeating Mephisto and Diablo, players pursued Baal and his demonic forces to the legendary Mount Arreat. There, the Demon Lord was narrowly defeated, but not before he had corrupted the World Stone, the immense crystal that had been used to create Sanctuary itself. Seeing no other recourse, the great archangel Tyrael hurled his enchanted rune blade into the crystal, igniting a catastrophic explosion.
It has begun.
In Diablo 3, Deckard Cain appears once again, along with a new character, Leah. The story takes place 2 decades after the World Stone's destruction, when a fiery comet appears in the skies, careening toward Tristram's dilapidated cathedral. Drawn by this foreboding omen, players venture out to investigate the comet and discover its true meaning.
Since the first spark of creation, angels have waged the eternal conflict to defeat the forces of darkness and corruption. Led by the Angira's council, their unity made them an indomitable force for light and righteousness. Stand fast! Oriel, Archangel of Hope. Malthael, Archangel of Wisdom. Ethereal, Archangel of Fate. Tyrael, Archangel of Justice. And Imperious, the Archangel of Valor.
Hold, Imperious. We must regroup our forces.
Hold! Victory is within our grasp! We press on, brother!
Diablo. Are you prepared to face me alone, Imperious? Your rage makes you powerful, yet you hide it from your brethren. Perhaps you fear them seeing you for what you truly are.
I fear nothing!
This was your trap, Diablo. Pitiful. Yet, here you all are.
At last, we have captured one of the prime evils. Holding him will surely turn the tide of war in our favor.
Take your vengeance, Imperius. Seal your victory.
This is not justice, brother. Nor does this decision lie with you alone. If you slay him, he will simply return in time. But if we imprison him...
Against his kind, there could only be blood for blood!
Sacrilege.
So much for your unity. The trap, at last, is sprung.
Angels, demons, I fear their conflict will soon engulf the world of men. And when it does, what hope will there be when even the wrath of angels cannot be quenched?
And at the end of days, the first sign shall appear in the heavens. Justice shall fall upon the world of men. The armies of light and shadow will clash across the fields of eternity. Leah, are you all right, my girl?
It was nothing, Uncle. Just a bad dream. We should be getting you home.
But there's still work to be done. If these translations are correct, the powers of hell could already be on the move. The world must be told of the coming darkness. You do believe me, don't you, Leah? It has begun.
Leave it, Uncle! It's not important!
Since my youth, I have been told that I was special. A prodigy of vast potential. I came to the Ishari Sanctum, seeking what knowledge I could glean from the Masters. But I found them fearful of the truth. I would learn nothing from them. The old books, the prophecies they contained, showed me all that might come to pass, and all that I might become. Then, a star fell from the heavens, the sign that my moment will go west to Tristram to stop the darkness that the star portends and fulfill the destiny that beckons me.
We have come at last to Tristram's old cathedral. This is where Diablo, Lord of Terror, first corrupted mankind. This is where I may finally find the answers I seek. Leah worries after my safety, but I believe information vital to defeating the last lords of the burning hells can be found here. I wish that Leah could live a different life, a more normal life. But alas, such is not her fate. When I pass, there is none but her to continue my work, and the future of this world hangs in the balance.
We've been under siege for 6 days now. Uncle Deckard is still missing. Captain Rumford and the others are losing hope. I tell them not to lose faith, but if help doesn't arrive soon...
This place reeks of the dead. The fallen star must be near.
And the tomes! Onward!
Prophecy sent me in search of the star that fell on this land.
It fell on the old cathedral. There was only one survivor, Leah. You should speak with her.
Captain Rumford, more dead are coming.
We can't open the gates until we drive them back.
They keep coming!
I've never seen anyone fight like that before. Guards, open the gates! You'll find Leah at the Slaughtered Calf Inn.
Burn those corpses before they rise again!
The dead have been a bane on our existence since that cursed fire fell. We have to burn them, just to make sure they don't rise from the grave.
Hard times call for harder choices.
Are you Leah? Rumford said you survived the fallen star.
I did, but it blasted my uncle Deckard Cain into the depths of the old cathedral. I tried to search for him, but the dead were already rising. I came back here to rally the militia, but... Watch out! The wounded are turning!
This is killing business.
The dead will overwhelm us all, unless something is done.
I will make certain that doesn't happen. Your town is safe.
Thank you. You should speak with Captain Rumford at the gate. He can tell you what to do. Uncle Deckard and I traveled all over the world in my youth, looking for lost lore and artifacts. It was so exciting, crawling around ancient temples, digging through forgotten crypts. I feel fortunate that Uncle Deckard raised me the way he did, the things I learned from him. But now I don't know. I see what his obsession with his quest has cost him, has cost us.
Tristram used to be such a wonderful place to live. My family has been here since the town grew out of the ruins of old Tristram. But now, it's horrible. The loved ones we've buried and grieved over now threaten our lives.
Don't you dare lift a finger to help our mayor fix his wagon. My brother died defending this town, while that bloated coward tried to run away.
Can you move this thing? I need to get by.
How dare you speak to me like that? I am the mayor of this town.
Why are you trying to leave?
Are you mad? This town is doomed. Anyone with a grain of sense should be trying to get out. Will you help me or not?
I am not in the habit of helping cowards.
Nothing ever seems to change in New Tristram, does it?
What do you mean?
There's always some threat of the risen dead or foul evil descending on the town, isn't there?
What can you tell me about Leah and her uncle, Deckard Cain?
Not too much, I'm afraid. They came here almost a year ago. She split her time between looking after him and helping out the town. He spent his days in the old cathedral, looking for old texts from what I hear. They were inside when that thing hit. She's lucky to be alive.
What can I do to help you fight the risen dead?
I admire your courage, but Captain Dalton and the militia were slaughtered by those things. Only I survived.
Thanks for the warning, but I won't be dying today.
Well, I have seen you fight. Strike at the wretched mothers and their queen. They're the ones vomiting out these horrors.
They're attacking the barricades!
There! That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
I, Deckard Cain, have spent many years traveling and writing about the strange creatures in our world, but the sight of the wretched mothers still haunts me. They are the remnants of Queen Asilla's slaughtered handmaidens who were twisted by foul magic. Now they feast upon cadavers and regurgitate them as newly formed, risen dead. I will never forget the first time I saw these horrors shambling out of the misty woods. Our loved ones, buried long ago, rose from their graves and began to attack the living. However, the risen dead were only the beginning.
When Leah told us the dead were pouring out of the cathedral, we quickly went to put an end to it. At first it seemed we were succeeding, but they just kept coming. We were overcome. Captain Dalton and the men fought valiantly. They protected me. I am no soldier. I was a farmer. I should not have been out there with them. I do not know how I made it back here. None of the others did. And now, somehow, I'm supposed to lead the militia.
A miracle has happened. A hero, like one out of Uncle Deckard's tales, appeared and saved us. I know in my heart that my uncle still lives, and I pray that the hero will bring him home safely.
Well, this is a dismal sight.
Dear reader, I am Abd al-Hazir, adventurer, scholar, and researcher. I share my knowledge of this incredible world and its creatures through my insightful missives, often at grave risk to myself. Why, I was recently in Honduras, where my tents were ransacked by vicious quill fiends. I was able to beat them off with a shoe, but a less bold man would have fared far worse.
While exploring a cave with hopes of finding hidden treasure, I came upon a most grisly sight. A heap of dead bodies. Unbelievably, as I was searching them for any items of value, they began to rise. I must tell them of this in New Tristram before it's too late.
The unburied are formed from human corpses that were flung into mass graves without a proper burial. This hideous amalgamation of bodies decomposes together into one being, bound by some foul magic. For all my knowledge, I could only flee from it, and I would expect any other sensible person to do the same.
Old Tristram. Diablo himself once walked this place.
This village surrendered to evil and paid the price.
That should put an end to the attacks, at least for now.
Praise the powers that be. Griswold, bless his dear heart, risked everything to bring that dear boy home from the cathedral. Though he is troubled and moody now, I am certain it will pass, and he will once again be the sweet wirt we all love.
Ogden and his wife have offered to let me and grandmother continue to stay with them. I think we will, now that the troubles are over. I am still tormented by horrific nightmares. I keep hoping they will fade, but they seem to be getting stronger. To think I was once afraid of Adria. She is going to take me to Chaldeum with her soon. Chaldeum. I never thought to see it with my own eyes. Though it saddens me to leave Ogden and his wife, Adria assures me that she will find a cure for my nightmares.
Aiden came to me last night. I suspected what was lurking within his troubled heart. I consoled him as best I could. Regardless, wherever he's headed, hell will surely follow in his wake. The shadows close in on Tristram once again, but like Aiden, I'll be gone before they fall.
I returned to Honduras after 20 years, the burden of countless failures and tragedies heaped upon my shoulders. Am I being punished for helping that stranger hunt the Dark Wanderer? I always thought Deckard Cain half a madman, but perhaps he was right. Perhaps he can banish the shadow hanging over my life.
I'm not quite sure what all the fuss is about. Few farmers turn up dead, and everyone goes running for the hills. I've lived off these lands for 20 years, and I have not seen any bloodthirsty monsters running about. No reason I should leave a perfectly good harvest.
For many years, villagers were too afraid to settle near the ruins of the cursed town Tristram. But as time went by, adventurers arrived to loot the old cathedral, and their business was profitable enough that New Tristram sprang up to accommodate them. Fewer travelers visit now, though, and the town is mostly populated by craftsmen and farmers.
Thank you for your help, but could you talk some sense into Leah? She won't give up on the idea of rescuing her uncle.
Nor should she. I will help her find him.
I volunteered to help because it seemed the right thing to do, but I'm no leader of men.
Perhaps you are more of a leader than you think.
That's a simple thing for you to say. You were born to fight monsters like the risen dead. Me? I'm just a farmer.
Come, let us search for your uncle.
We'll need to open the cathedral first. The guards locked it up before they were ambushed. Rumford told me they fought their way back to Adria's hut. The key must still be there.
It doesn't seem likely that Deckard Cain could have survived down in the cathedral this long, does it?
He is alive, and I will rescue him.
You seem quite sure of yourself. Do you know something I don't?
Here, let me open the gate. Adria was my mother, but I don't know much about her. She died when I was very young. I was raised by Uncle Deckard.
What about your father?
I'm told he was a great warrior who was lost when Tristram fell to the demons. Look! A hidden cellar! Follow me!
I think there was more to your mother than you know.
People said she was a witch, but I never believed it. Captain Dalton! Here's the key, and my mother's journal. What I've seen of it is disturbing. I want to know more about her, but that can wait. We need to save Uncle Deckard first.
I will search the cathedral. You stay here and learn what you can.
Thank you.
How did your mother die?
Well, details are hazy, but I know that Adria was obsessed with chasing the arcane. She knew she could never raise a child. Uncle Deckard believes that the madness and horror of her life finally caught up with her. For a long time, Uncle Deckard avoided coming back to this place. There were a lot of ghosts here for him. This is where Diablo drove old King Leoric mad and terrorized the people. I don't know what really happened here, but whatever it was horrible. Nearly everyone who survived went mad.
So this is Tristram Cathedral. The fallen star is somewhere inside.
I can no longer deny the true nature of the evil that rises from the depths of the cathedral. It is almost too horrible to admit the truth of it. It is the Dark Lord of Terror, Diablo himself, who plagues us. The vile staff of Lazarus was brought to me today, confirming my suspicions. There is no longer any doubt that Lazarus kidnapped Albrecht, and perhaps even freed Diablo from his ancient prison. Who knows what further treachery he has planned?
Tristram Cathedral. I am amazed it still stands. The Herodrum had a monastery here long ago.
Perhaps if they had stayed, none of this would have happened.
Indeed.
This must be where the star fell. Its crater is tinged with some strange magic.
Do you smell that? The stone itself burns.
Help me! It's inside me! Inside!
The Dark Berserkers are considered weaker demons, but their strength is still far greater than that of any human. I have found dark spells within the cathedral, written in Archbishop Lazarus's own hand, explaining how to summon them. I pray that no other copies exist, so that this terrible knowledge will be lost forever. Demons have been known to devour their own young when no other nourishment is available. Their offspring, the imps, sometimes manage to flee and band together with other demon spawn. They rove in vicious packs, ready to descend upon the unwary traveler and rip his body to shreds with their tiny needle-sharp teeth.
Foul minions, stay back! Back! May this ledge hold. The Skeleton King?
The power of the fallen star awakened me, and soon all will suffer as I have suffered. Gods, bring me his bones!
Cain! I will save you!
Help!
Thank you, but why did you risk yourself for me?
You live. Fortune smiles on you, old man. I'm here to bring you back to Leah.
Oh, it is wonderful to hear that Leah is well. I feared the worst. I learned of this secret passage through old maps I found. We must discuss the fallen star. Follow me to Tristram. The Zakarum high priests in Kurast proclaimed Leoric king of Kondurus many years ago. He ruled well until Diablo's influence drove him mad, and the loyal knight Lac-Danan was forced to slay him. Afterward, Diablo himself raised Leoric from the dead as the Skeleton King, until the monarch's son, Aiden, vanquished him. During the last days of King Leoric's reign, even the skeletons of the ancient dead could not rest. They took up their broken armor and weapons once more, ready to cut down anything that yet drew breath. Though wasted and fragile, these creatures possess a twisted cleverness that makes them quite formidable.
Uncle Deckard is home, rescued from the clutches of the Skeleton King. I'm so glad. But the Skeleton King, I thought he was a folktale. The idea of Mad King Leoric returning to torture this place. Hasn't Tristram suffered enough?
I have fulfilled my promise to Leah and rescued her uncle, Deckard Cain. Now, all that stands between me and the fallen star is the Skeleton King, who has returned to darken Tristram once again.
Uncle, you're alive!
Thanks to you and your friend here.
Our time is running short. What can you tell me about the fallen star?
Not much, I'm afraid, though the prophecy of the end days surely points to it as a sign that the end has begun.
Please, Uncle, not more of your stories. All that matters now is that you're back. I've spent most of my life traveling from place to place with Uncle Deckard, while he did his crazy research.
What is he looking for?
He's convinced that the forces of hell will invade our world and bring about the end times. All these years, he's still searching for a way to stop this apocalypse.
What did you discover about your mother?
She wasn't from Tristram originally. She came here during the Troubles. She was in search of something, but I'm not sure what. She reminds me of Uncle Deckard, obsessed with the war between angels and demons.
Leah, you should not dismiss the signs so lightly. Do you not believe the evidence of your own eyes?
Horrors have visited Tristram before, and it endured.
But what of the texts? The Zakarum tomes warn of a falling star. The Herodric scroll spoke of the dead rising, and the Lord of Lies, the prophecy of the end days, says that at the end of all things, the first sign shall appear in the heavens.
Yes, you've been telling me about the texts since I was 8 years old, Uncle. I just don't think we should read too much into them.
The prophecy of the end days is contained within the Herodric tomes I inherited from my ancestor, Jared Cain. It is a warning to those who could interpret it regarding Hell's ultimate invasion of our world, written by many different people throughout history, in many different lands. All known versions of the prophecy are incomplete. I have spent a good part of the past 20 years trying to complete it. I am certain it holds the answers to defeating the Lords of Hell. I am the last of the Herodrim. I couldn't always claim this. In fact, if I had turned to the Herodric teachings sooner, Diablo could have been stopped before his reign of terror began.
You can't truly believe that.
When the first signs appeared, I did nothing. I had shrugged the old tales off like they were so much fantasy. And Tristram, no, the world, has paid dearly for my arrogance. I have tried to make up for my failings. Leah and I have spent her lifetime scouring the world, collecting pieces of the prophecy of the end days. If I can decipher it, we will have the key to defeating the Lords of Hell.
I notice a great fondness between you and Leah.
I do not know what my life would have been like had I not raised her. Oh, it must have been difficult for Leah, following an old man on a mad search for the secrets to defeating the lords of the burning hells. But though she has seen her share of mysterious things, she is still unsure of my quest. I can understand. She has never seen anything like Diablo and his brothers. The Skeleton King was once our beloved lord, Leoric. He was driven mad by Diablo's evil. He lost both of his sons and his very soul before he was finally defeated. Now it seems he's risen to plague this land once again.
Leoric's tale is sad, but I am here to find the fallen star, and the Skeleton King stands in my way.
The key to defeating him lies in his old crown. Seek out our blacksmith, Hadrig. He knows of its whereabouts.
You said Diablo drove Leoric mad.
Leoric resisted Diablo's attempts to possess him, but the effort left him weak and confused. When his son Albrecht was kidnapped to be a vessel for Diablo, it destroyed any sanity Leoric had left.
What happened after he became the Skeleton King?
He commanded an army of the dead deep within the cathedral, finally serving the Lord of Terror he had resisted while alive. Many adventurers tried and failed to slay the Skeleton King. It was left to Leoric's eldest son, Aiden, to finally kill the monster his father had become.
These dark events tax us. I worry for Hadrig, our blacksmith, most of all. His wife has been injured, and he is tasked with seeing to those who may turn. His family has suffered under this curse before. His grandfather, the Chancellor to King Leoric, was killed when the evil first spread over Tristram 20 years ago.
So this is how it ends? They dragged my cart from the road, but for what? I can't get it repaired. Might as well dig a hole and die in it.
If that will make you feel better, perhaps you should.
Chelsea, how sweet of you to ask. My people, the Vetchin, are nomads, always traveling, looking for the land we might settle. All of us have the sight, but few have it as strong as myself. You know, men have always pursued me for my visions. Well, for things other than my visions. But everyone wants to know what the future holds.
I know what my future holds. I have seen it written.
Can you not focus on anything but power and prophecy? Live a little in the here and now. It's all we have. The world is constantly renewing itself, eternally playing out the same events over and over again. We can merely play our parts.
Are you trying to confuse me?
I speak clearly. Do not blame me for the state of your mind. Is there no justice in this world? Leoric bravely withstood Diablo's attempts to possess him, and look what he got in return. Madness and a cursed death.
We can have sympathy for him, but that doesn't change the fact that he needs to be destroyed.
Do not question the path you are on. It will lead you through things that will try your very soul, but you'll always have me to talk to.
And your guidance has always been so helpful.
You pretend you are a rock, but I know the softness you don't want anyone to see. Why else would you continue to come and talk to Miriam?
Blacksmith, Deckard Cain said you could help me find the crown of Leoric.
Not now. It's my wife. She's locked in the cellar like all those who've been bitten. I'm to put them all down. But how can I kill my own wife?
I know it will be difficult, but she would want you to do it. I will help you.
Thank you. Follow me.
We must be ready to finish this work, if he cannot.
One step closer.
My friends, I'm sorry.
Apologies will not lay them to rest, blacksmith. Swing your bloody hammer.
You are helping them. You don't need to be sorry.
Mira, my love, forgive me.
Hadrig! Help me!
Love is the surest road to a tragic end. That is why I have forsworn it.
I couldn't have done this without you. I'm in your debt. My name is Hedrig Aemon.
Well, Hedrig, Deckard Cain told me you know where Leoric's crown is.
I can help you there. It's buried with his Chancellor, my grandfather. You'll find his tomb in a cemetery in the Weeping Hollow. And if you see my fool apprentice out there, tell him to get back to town.
My dearest Hedrig, do not feel despair, my love. You did everything you could. Our time together meant more than words can say. But in the end, fate is a cruel mistress. Your strength is needed to end the horrors that beset this world. My final wish is that you find your path. Love always. Mira.
I hear something stirring in the distance.
Hedrig's apprentice is dead. I should tell him. What happened to this grave? Will the dead never learn to stay dead? Stay in the ground this time.
That was a noble deed.
The cold ground welcomes the foul bodies of these cruel men. They sought to prolong their lives through forbidden magic at great and cruel cost to others. Their evil fed on itself until it consumed them all, and they found themselves at the end of a hangman's rope.
When King Leoric came to court, he brought many nobles with him, and nobles, oddly enough, want noble crypts. So I showed up with my shovel, thinking to make easy profit by digging a few holes. Ha! There's no stopping their demands around here. Now, I eat, sleep, and breathe dirt, it seems.
Greetings, friend. One of those dirty scavengers stole an ancient, extremely rare scabbard from me. I followed him in here, but then I lost him. Perhaps you could find it for me.
Scavengers are ugly, pathetic creatures who survive off of carrion and corpses, too diseased to attract any other carnivores. I did once meet a raggedy fellow who claimed that he had trained one of the beasts to bring him large rats to eat. But I'm sure the story is utter nonsense.
Many thanks to you. I'd have never have seen this again without your help. You'd like to buy something from me, yes? This scabbard is a rare treasure. Its inscription reads Talek the Defender in archaic lettering. He was one of the ancients who guarded Mount Ariat until the shattering of the World Stone. A true warrior who gave his life to spare the world from the dark fate it has fallen to now.
Grave robbers have defiled my tomb. Now my husband writhes in torment because I do not rest at his side. Return my bones so that we may rest in peace.
They can rest again.
The tragedies in these lands have left many restless spirits in their wake, and they demand retribution. These spirits will take out their vengeance on any unsuspecting individual who may pass, for they believe that the blood of the living will yet restore the lives that were ripped away from them.
Do you believe in the afterlife, my friend?
My studies indicate that it's unlikely.
We are very different, aren't we?
This looks like a crypt fit for a Chancellor. The crown must be here.
The Chancellor kept it safe for many years. A noble act.
No, I will not allow you to bring that monster Leoric back to this world.
You found the crown. Truth be told, I didn't think you'd make it back alive. Ah, it needs repair. Should be no problem. It's good to work again. There. New as the day it was placed upon the Black King's head. I need something more than making spades to occupy my mind. I want my life to mean something.
Then help me. I will use your handiwork for great things. I'm afraid I have bad news. Your apprentice has died.
Fool boy. Hope for the worst and you will not be disappointed. Thank you for the news.
Your grandfather was King Leoric's Chancellor? Tell me about him.
Not much to tell. I lived with my father in Chaldeum at the time. We heard that my grandfather stayed in Tristram until the end, trying to save lives. Don't know if he succeeded, but there it is. When the Skeleton King fell, my grandfather was dying from a sword wound. He had the crown sealed with him to keep it safe.
I studied the fall of Tristram, but it is easy to forget that it happened to real people. Your grandfather was a brave man. I am sorry about your wife, Hadric. I wish it had not come to that.
You got nothing to apologize for. She was dying and you put her down.
Hadric, it is only proper to grieve for Mira. I can't imagine your pain. I've never been close to anyone.
I don't want to talk about my wife. Dead is dead and gone is gone. Do you want work done or not?
I have the crown. How do I reach the Skeleton King?
At last. With it, you can unlock the sealed door in the room where you rescued me and enter the royal crypts. When you find the Skeleton King, place the crown atop his head and destroy him.
The Skeleton King dies today. I must find the fallen star.
The news continues to worsen. How can you continue to wade into the fray with nary a thought for your own safety? It is madness.
Oh, I value my own safety. But there are things I must know, and hiding behind walls will teach me nothing.
After King Leoric went mad, no one lived in these parts for a long time. Then adventurers were lured here by tales of riches to be found inside the old cathedral. New Tristram started when some traveling merchants decided to set down here to sell to the adventurers. It grew quickly. Lots of good farming in these parts. Well, before all of this started.
We have just arrived in Tristram, and I must say, I'm a bit dismayed. This place is a backwater filled with serfs and an ancient broken-down monastery, hardly fit for the King of Condorus. I cannot fathom why Lazarus was so intent on this becoming our new seat of power. A fetid, pallid malaise has fallen over the manor we now call home. Young Albrecht seems to be enjoying himself in our new home, however. Perhaps I am simply suffering from an imbalance of humors brought on by the recent change of clime. I am convinced that some malevolent being is attempting to wrest control of my thoughts away from me. Voices direct me to horrendous acts, and there are times when I seem unable to control my body. Lazarus knows. This is certain. He looks at me strangely when he thinks me otherwise disposed. Though my counsel begs me to reconsider, I will continue with the executions of those I find guilty of plotting against the kingdom. Perhaps they fear my eye will fall on them and discover their heinous, treasonous plans as well. Lazarus is the only one I can still trust. I have finally rid myself of the dark influence seeking to subdue me, and now I see things as they truly are. This conspiracy among the insolent townsfolk to weaken me by stealing Albrecht away will not stand. Perhaps the heads of their women and children on pikes will bring them clarity. Chancellor Eamon, it is of the utmost importance that we secure my manor from the traitorous rabble in Tristram. The caves to the east are too close to my land. They must be blocked, completely obstructed. I believe the Archbishop Lazarus has magically bound some arachnids of late. They may serve us well.
Royal Guard, with great pain, I must admit that our king is no longer able to separate reason from madness. He orders the caverns to be filled with the Archbishop's monstrous creations, and will hear nothing else. Perhaps the legendary ancients themselves once dwelled there, but now we must desecrate their ruins.
I had heard the rumors, but I thought them just fancies of bored women, until I saw them dragging people through the streets today. Our own citizens! Has the world gone mad?
The rumors of torture and worse grow every day. What has happened to Tristram and its king? I once thought Leoric a great man, but it seems I was deceived. We all were. He sends our meager army against Westmarch on the morrow. What will become of us?
The king has gone mad. Executing anyone his paranoid eye falls on. None of us are safe.
You seem worried. What troubles you, Templar?
My apologies. It pains me to see such a holy place desecrated and in ruins.
We will purify it together, friend.
Maintain your incantations. He will soon turn.
Ave Magistros, Ave Registras, Ave Leodastas,
Aremandaxas, Ilias animos, Ilias vaginas, Ilias for...
I am free!
Now, back to my mission.
Who are you?
You will know soon enough. Help me find my gear. I will reward you well. Tell me, what brought you to this infernal place?
I have unfinished business with the Skeleton King.
As do I. Why have you come here, brother? One of our number has forsaken his vows and joined the demonic coven that infests this fallen cathedral. Damn that traitor! We will make him pay!
A dark coven has formed in Tristram, and I fear that their superstitious violence may damn the whole region. I discovered very little during my eavesdropping, except that the word Magda was repeated several times in their chants. Oh well, now I journey to the safety of my home, where I may put these worries behind me. The cultists were performing a strange ritual when I saw them today. One of their number stood soundlessly, while others thrust long spikes deep into his spine. He did not perish. And I believe that he may have even been darkly empowered from the implantation, though such terrible magic is foreign to me.
The bestial hellions are demons that can be summoned from the burning hells with the aid of foul sorcery. They are given to chasing down their foes and attacking them with savage fangs. This usually allows some spare time for their masters to craft their dark spell work and finish off the victim.
The cultists dragged me past this glowing pit. What made it?
That's what I'm here to find out.
I am Cormac, warrior of the Templar Order. If it is the Skeleton King you seek, then you will have to fight your way past John Dar. There is no reason we should hunt alone.
I suppose not. A strong spirit at my side could prove helpful.
Evil cowers at the sight of just one Templar. Two will bring it to its knees. Black magic bars our way, but the will of a Templar is stronger. You were a Templar, John Dar. How could you succumb to this coven?
The coven is my brotherhood now, Cormac. The powers we serve will soon rule this world! Please forgive me. My vision was clouded by the coven's evil magic.
Betrayal can never be forgiven. Thank you for your aid. I will go with you on your hunt for the Skeleton King. But there is one condition. If we find the sacred tomes of my order, they are mine.
That is agreeable, though I wouldn't mind taking a look at them.
Then onwards we go, to fight the Skeleton King.
In the eastern kingdom of Khejistan, I heard rumors of Zakarum warriors called Crusaders. While the natives were most reticent, I was able to deduce that this order was founded 200 years ago, just as Rakis took his army of paladins west. But these Crusaders went east on a very different mission. My studies indicate that a high-level cleric of the Zakarum named Akan began to sense the corruption that was eating away at the heart of his faith. He knew this corruption would eventually destroy his beloved church, and that he must take action. After much prayer, Akan hit upon the idea of an order of crusaders. Akan gathered the most devout, driven, and martial Zakarum adherents. He taught them to channel the power of light in the same way that the newly founded paladins were being trained. But these recruits, these crusaders, were given insight into the primal powers of Zakarum in a way no paladin ever was. When the Crusaders had learned all they could, Akan sent them out into the world, seeking a way to cleanse the corruption that coiled at the heart of the Zakarum faith. There was no clear goal for them to pursue, and some clerics claimed it was a fool's errand, that they could never succeed. But these Crusaders would not be deterred. The Crusaders swore an oath to dedicate their lives to the search. None believed that they would be the one to end the crusade by finding and cleansing the corruption. They believed the search ennobled them, that the discipline of their life and journey was the true goal. The The Crusader was meant to find meaning in the quest itself. Each and every Crusader was a warrior of rare strength. They had mastered the power of light, of weapon and shield, and of self. Each was sworn to live as a Crusader and to die as one. 200 years ago, they took their apprentices and set out into the eastern swamplands. They were never heard from again. Until now. Rumors swirl that the Crusaders have returned, and that they mean to go to the west. But who are these tall, blonde warriors? They look nothing like the Crusaders who set out from Travancore 200 years ago, and those who inhabit the ruins of that ancient city suspect trickery. I recently met a returning Crusader, and now I understand. Each Crusader took an apprentice. When a Crusader fell, his apprentice would take up his armor, his place in the order, and even his very name. When the first generation of Crusaders fell, their own apprentices took up their identities, and so it has continued for 200 years. Of the original 427 Crusaders who disappeared into the east, 341 return. Do they still seek the redemption of their faith? How will they react to the destruction of the city that birthed their crusade? Will they continue west to the lands of Westmarch? What does their return portend?
Are you ever afraid in battle?
I am guided by prophecy. There's no reason to be afraid.
We are both blessed then. My faith armors me against fear.
Keep your distance from him. This burden is mine to bear. May death bring peace from your madness, Leoric.
Traitors! Even in death, the armies of Condorus will still obey their king, even if you will not.
My name is Lackdanon, and I am cursed. Once the captain of King Leoric's army, I lived only to honor my land and my king. No man has a greater love for his king than I had for mine, even as I drove my blade through his dark and corrupted heart. It was Lazarus, of that I am certain. He alone had the king's ear, and whispered dark and evil magics into it, instilling the notion of an imminent attack by Westmarch. Afraid to speak against the archbishop, the councillors nodded their empty heads in agreement, and sent us off to die. When we returned from our horrific defeat in Westmarch, my beloved king lost all pretense of sanity. He seethed with rage, spitting curses upon us as traitors. With great sorrow, I ran him through. I will forever live in anguish for my last attempt to honor my king. As we lay him to rest in his burial chamber, he manifested as a hideous skeletal demon. Gorash and my other knights were overcome at once, but I fought on. And now I wander, cursed by my once beloved king. Evil gnaws at my bones, and I cannot risk putting my beloved Tristram in danger should I fail to contain that which tears at me. I must venture down into the labyrinth to die alone.
There is chaos everywhere, and word in town is that Lackdanon killed the king. If only this is true, perhaps our days and nights of living in terror are behind us now.
You dare to bring the warmth of life into my tomb?
We shall put you down, Hellspawn!
You will never defeat me!
You were defeated the moment you surrendered to madness.
Finally, the crater. It was you that fell from the sky? I don't believe that you are the source of the evil in this place.
I am. I remember falling
Then who are you? Why are you here?
I am not your enemy. I think. Yes, I believe I have come with a warning. The darkness. The darkness is coming. I don't remember.
I should bring you back to town. Cain will know what to do with you.
I can hardly believe it, but the falling star is a man. When Uncle Deckard realized this, he was crushed. I know he was hoping for something more miraculous.
I have traveled far, only to find that the fallen star was a man. Who is he? Why has he come? He recalls nothing. But Cain may have the answers. This is what fell out of the sky.
No man could survive such a thing. Who are you? What are you?
A warrior, I think. I came bearing grave news, but I cannot remember.
Your message might be all that can save us from impending doom. Tell me everything you remember, stranger. Every detail.
Falling. Fire. A sword of great power. It was part of me, but it shattered into 3 pieces as I fell.
It is vital that we find those pieces. I believe the sword made whole will restore your memory.
The goatmen are rampaging through the fields. Could the sword have anything to do with that?
Of course, of course. Just as the dead rose around the stranger, the sword pieces drove the goatmen to madness.
The goatmen won't stand in my way. I'll get the sword.
The Horadrim were powerful mages gathered together by the Archangel Tyrael to defeat the 3 prime evils, Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal. They devoted themselves fully to the destruction of the demon lords and left behind valuable tomes and teachings.
How did you become the last of the Horadrim?
My ancestor was the leader of the Horadrim, Jared Cain. When the Horadrim died out, their tomes stayed in my family. I was thrilled by tales of the Horadrim as a little boy, but it wasn't until I returned to them as an adult that I realized they contained deeper truths. Tyrael is the angel of justice. He has been helping mankind for generations, though he is forbidden to do so in any direct manner. Long ago, the high heavens and the burning hells made a pact as a result of the Sin War that they would not interfere in our world.
But the demons have obviously broken this pact. Why can Tyrael not involve himself directly?
The Angiris Council, the archangels that lead heaven, almost destroyed our world once to keep the demons from spreading their corruption upon it. If Tyrael were to act directly, it would alert the Council to the demons' activities here and imperil us all.
Can you remember anything else?
Only that there were surges of light and a kind of pain.
How do you fare now?
The emptiness gnaws at me. It is a constant frustration.
Calm yourself. The sword should help you remember. How does one become a Templar anyway? Were you born to the Order?
No. Our scripture says, as a farmer reaps his wheat, so must the Order harvest and purify the weeds.
That seems a little unfair. You are not a weed.
You speak out of kindness, but you do not understand. When they took me, they saved my life and my immortal soul.
Hello? Is there anyone alive out there?
This wouldn't be quite so bad if I could turn around. Wait a minute. I can turn around.
Are you still alive out there? Or is it the monster? Oh, say yes if you are. Or you could clap.
Thank you for releasing me. It was getting a little boring in there. I am seeking a magic crucible that legend says was hidden in these very aqueducts. It would be a valuable addition to my jeweler's tools. Help me find it, and I will be greatly indebted to you. Oh, how rude of me. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Covetous Shen.
Were you named by your enemies?
What? I have no enemies. Everybody loves Shen. Do you like jewels? I like jewels. I really like jewels. I can't imagine why my young partner bashed me over the head and sealed me in there. This place is quite dangerous without a knowledgeable guide.
And I am to believe that you are such a guide?
Oh yes, I could show you around the world 5 times and never stub a toe. What a fascinating place this is. Oh, look at all this wonderful architecture. You could walk all the way around the world and never find its like. Except for this part. I've seen this somewhere else before. Now, I wonder where my young guide got off to. His name was Gavin, I believe. Yes, that was it. Nice young fellow. He must still be around here also. Or perhaps he got lost. No, we're not lost, are we? You know, it was actually quite an interesting experience to be locked up in a barrel. I had a lot of time to think to myself. It was a little uncomfortable, though. A delightful fellow, that young Gavin. Yes, he was so willing to show an old man around the desert. And his company only cost me a small bag of gold per day. He hardly complained about anything. Always a smile on his face. Do you think Gavin is all right? I hope he hasn't gotten lost. This place can't be dangerous without a guide.
The crucible! It's mine!
Be careful, Gavin. It might be cursed. Dear, I did warn him. The crucible should be safe now. Pick it up. Pick it up. Poor young man. If I had known the crucible was cursed, I never would have brought him along. If you come see me, I can show you how the crucible can combine jewel fragments. Well, you know, I've been searching for a certain jewel for a long, long time. I'm in no rush. But maybe if I go with you, I'll find it just like I found this crucible. May I come with you on your journey and make glorious jewelry for you?
That sounds like a good bargain.
Oh, the way out is just a little farther. I am starving. Do you think we'll find any good food down here?
Well, I've seen some piles of rotting carcasses.
How do you think they would taste? I have heard of many strange delicacies and partaken of many upon my journeys, but... Oh, you were not serious. Ah, very interesting topic. I sell jewels.
Well, I suppose that could be interesting. What are you doing so far from Xiansai?
The women. Young ladies chasing me around day and night, begging for a kiss. I had to leave. It was the only honorable thing to do.
I somehow feel that you aren't being entirely truthful with me.
Truth? Never touch the stuff. You are very brave to venture outside the town gates. I hear there are all sorts of dangerous things crawling around out there.
If you consider the Walking Dead dangerous, then I suppose you are correct.
Oh, that's terrible. I only meant the rats and snakes. I do like this Descartes Kane fellow. It's rare that I can find someone I have so much in common with.
You two do not seem very similar.
We both had rather interesting experiences with the Zakharum priestesses in our youth, so... You know, there's nothing in the world quite so perfect as jewels. They have color, size, shape, transparency.
Transparency?
Oh yes, if only I could eat them, I would need nothing else in life. Not that you can't. I hear some people even shape certain crystals atop their food. Oh, perhaps it was a jewel that fell from the sky. Oh, did you ever consider that?
It was not a jewel. It was a man.
A man? Now that is strange. Where do you suppose he came from? And how did he survive his fall? Did he have any jewels on him?
I hear you are going to the fields. It was a place of great beauty. before the dirty Khazra fouled it with their presence. Kill some of them for me, will you?
Some time ago, I revealed that the Khazra, or goatmen, were originally humans until the Vizieri corrupted them. For many years, these creatures were simple and lethargic. These days have ended. Khazra attacks are widely reported, and the number of fatalities is higher than anything in my records. Long ago, 5 clans of the Umbaru tribe left the Teganze and ventured north. After their transformation into Khazra, only a few elders were still able to use magic, and they passed it down to their cleverest children. These are the Khazra shaman, and they rank among the most dangerous of their race. Though I have searched every corner of the great library of Chaldeum, I can find no references to the true fate of the blood clan Khazra. Some crumbling papers hint that they made a pact to serve the mythical lesser evils. But surely such a thing cannot be considered proper scholarship. Can it?
Uncle Deckard believes the key to unlocking the stranger's memory is reassembling his sword. I wish I could say this was another of Uncle's crazy theories, but I can't deny that these ominous events are starting to really scare me.
If there's a sword here, we will find it.
Some foul new disease has taken hold in this land, and the carrion bats are near the heart of it. Since returning to Tristram, I have seen their numbers surge. The evil forces that linger here give them strength, and I fear that the worst is yet to come. I was able to trace some carrion bats back to one of their nests. What I found shocked me. The nest itself is a living organism, a mature bat that has been mutated by the darkest of magics. I no longer doubt that demonic forces have corrupted these creatures.
That's a familiar glow. The piece of the sword I'm looking for must be in this cave.
We must hurry with the ritual. Magda will be here soon. It is turning.
Kill her!
This sword piece glows with the stranger's magic.
Who are you to take what is mine?
Yours? I believe you're mistaken.
Regardless, I have claimed it. I am Magda, and I lead this coven. The shard is mine.
To hell with you, witch!
Very well. Let the games begin. Well fought, but you will never possess the next piece. It has fallen where only the ancients may tread.
She is more devious than she appears.
There is a new piece to the game. A girl named Leah. My spies tell me she is the child of the witch Adria, who is hiding in the deserts of Chaldeum. Bring this news to the Master at once.
We are not the only ones seeking the sword. I had to take the first piece from a witch named Magda and her crazed minions.
Uncle Deckard, you sound like those dark cultists you told me about.
Very good, Leah. You have been paying attention. Stranger, does any of this jar your memory?
I have no memory of this coven, but I sense a far darker shadow guiding its hand.
Magda's coven is a remnant of an ancient religion called the Triune that worshipped the prime evils as gods.
But the prime evils died 20 years ago. Who does the coven worship now?
The last 2 evils, Asmodan and Belial, remain. And if either of them are behind this coven, then our troubles are only beginning.
Magda taunted me, claiming to know where the next piece is. She said it fell where only ancients may tread.
That makes me think of the drowned temple near the festering woods. I remember you telling me about it, Uncle.
Exactly, Leah. The temple was home to the Nephilim. Leah, your knowledge could be invaluable. You must go and help our friend retrieve the sword piece.
The Nephilim were ancient humans with fantastic powers. Legend holds that they waged a terrible battle near the temple, and that their ghosts still war with one another.
This fragment seems very old, and very powerful.
Indeed, it feels familiar to me, though the rest is still unclear.
Your sword would seem to mark you as a great champion.
If that is what I am, then my strength has gone with my memory.
Perhaps when the sword is complete, it will restore both.
The World Stone was an ancient artifact of immense power. It was used not only to create our world, but also to control mankind. The original humans were known as the Nephilim, and their power was such that it was feared they would tip the balance in the eternal conflict between the high heavens and the burning hells. So the World Stone was tuned to lessen our powers, turning mankind into what we are today. But now that it has been destroyed, it is conceivable that the powers of the Nephilim will reappear. Tyrael was forced to destroy the World Stone when Baal, the Lord of Destruction, corrupted it in his attempt to control all of mankind.
The World Stone's destruction must have unleashed incredible energies.
It obliterated Mount Arreat, the mountain that housed it, leaving only a smoking crater in its place. And nothing has been heard from Tyrael since.
My grandfather used to tell me stories of ancient heroes who performed impossible feats. You remind me of those heroes. Of course, he also told me I looked like a quill fiend. He was a strange man.
The foul witch waits for you to unseal the temple of the ancients, that she may strike. Her master would sacrifice anything to control the destiny of the stranger. I would tell you to be careful, but you wouldn't listen, would you?
Such a strange place this world is. You never know what you might find over the next rise, or what the next day might bring. A man who fell from the sky, a king who cannot die. I can tell I will have no dull days traveling with you.
Wanted. One relic, scarlet, roughly the size of a man's fist. It was stolen 2 months past during a deplorable theft from the Merchants Guild Bank. Those apprehended were not in possession of the item. The relic is greatly missed by its rightful owner, who offers a reward for its safe return. After much searching, I have found a promising lead. A family near New Tristram has obtained a valuable relic, and, poor fools that they are, they haven't the slightest idea what to do with it. I have some idea of what to do with their daughter, though. And through her, I'll get my prize.
You there! Please help! They're going to kill my friend! Thieves are going to kill my friend if we don't do something. Help me break these bonds and see for yourself!
What do they want with your friend?
She's just a farmer's daughter, Sasha, but she has a relic that the thieves are after.
I'm losing my patience, wench!
I'm sworn to secrecy. Release the girl. The relic belongs to her.
You actually believe what this scoundrel tells you? Fine, you fools. We'll kill the both of you.
This is just like target practice.
This isn't over. The rest of the Thieves Guild will find you.
Here's the relic, my love. I hid it like you asked. Father's grown suspicious of us. But that won't matter once we're married. It won't be long, right?
Of course, my dear. Soon we will settle down to a quiet life of tilling the fields and raising children. But first, I have to sell this relic. Alas, I must travel away with my friend here to do so.
You're coming with me?
Yes, yes! You look like you know a lot about markets. Now, lead the way! Wait, the relic is a fake! Gods, I should have known! You seem like you could use a helping hand, and I sure as hell don't want to stay around here.
Please tell me that you're not considering this criminal's proposal.
What of your betrothed?
Betrothed? Do I look like the marrying kind to you? By the way, my name is Lyndon.
What the tomes say of Alaric and this temple is not encouraging. You must be Alaric the Guardian. Uncle Deckard told me of your eternal watch over this cursed place. I thought it was a myth.
Are you Nephilim?
No. There have been no Nephilim for a millennium.
Yet another myth. You seek entrance to this temple, but only a Nephilim can enter. If you retrieve the keys from the outlying tombs and use them on the gates, we will see who and what you truly are. Follow me. I will raise the bridge that you may pass. Seek 2 tombs in the woods beyond. The Warrior's Rest and the Crypt of the Ancients. Within them reside the keys
to our sacred temple. The world stone has been changed. Our children are born weak and suffer short lives. The demon Nereza promised to restore their power, but instead turned them into misshapen creatures and sent them to war against us. We may die, but not before she is sent back to the burning hells.
Our enemies are legion, but they will not take us without a fight. We must hold them here while the keys to the Holy Temple are hidden away from their leader, the fiend Nereza. Resolve must not falter, though we would surely die to the last man. Alaric says that our people can survive the coming battle, but I saw the truth in his eyes. Why did he order me to guard the beacon of honor? Those shambling things are slaughtering my people in the forest above, and there's nothing I can do to stop it.
A pall of ancient doom hangs upon these woods.
Are these Alaric's people?
No, these are malevolent spirits.
Ghouls are stronger than most risen dead, but they gain their fortitude through horrific means, feasting upon human corpses. These creatures are least dangerous while eating, but do not disturb them, or it shall be your limbs between their teeth.
I miss Chaldeum.
What do you miss about it?
It's such an open and beautiful city. It thrives on trade and new ideas. There was always something new and exciting to hear or see. I've spent years exploring places like this with Uncle Deckard. This brings back memories.
I too enjoy hunting evil creatures through strange new lands.
I was talking about happy memories.
As was I.
When this is over, I could open my own little inn somewhere. If I live.
I don't think that life is for me.
Well, if you ever want a job, I will consider your credentials.
So kind.
The grotesques may seem slow and senseless, but they hide many dangers within their hideously malformed bodies. A set of spikes lurks beneath the monster's flesh, and foul parasites nest within them. It is said that these horrors themselves are constructed by a greater evil, a darkness that I cannot even fathom.
This is amazing. It reminds me of being a child and searching for lost artifacts with Uncle Deckard.
Tell me about this inn you want to open.
The world is so dangerous. Everybody needs a quiet, safe place to rest and recover. A way station on their journeys.
You must make your own safety.
And I will. I wonder who killed these soldiers.
I think we'll find out soon enough.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Take the hill, brothers! Don't let these dogs have it!
That last skeleton must have been one of Alaric's people. But it didn't stop him from attacking.
I believe we are fighting against both sides of an ancient battle.
We were so sure we could beat whatever traps the ancients had laid for tomb robbers. But the dead bodies of my friends testify to the folly of our arrogance. I will be dead soon as well. Our greed was our downfall.
Those who possess the beacons of light and honor may enter our holy temple. Use them on the pedestals. The temple is open. Enter and defeat the guardians within. Although they are my brothers, they will seek your death when you enter.
I cannot fault them for doing their duty.
Look at this architecture. This predates the Sin War.
None may enter the inner sanctum. Rise, my brothers! Rise and do battle!
I used to love traveling, seeing the world.
But not like this, eh?
Yes, it's not like it was.
Have no fear, Leah. We will make this world safe again.
Your strength rivals that of our greatest champions. What now do you think you are? You may enter our most sacred place.
The spirit speaks the truth. This was a good place. I can feel it.
The noble hero fought her way here just to die. Magda. And who is this you bring with you? Adria's daughter? She has power within her. No matter. Your mother will soon share your fate, little one. The shard is mine. this temple with their blood!
What did she mean my mother will share my fate? Could my mother be alive after all these years?
She wants to torment you. Don't listen to her.
And what is the power within you that she spoke of?
This fight was too easy. She's toying with us. We must get back to Uncle Deckard right away. When we retrieved the stranger's second sword piece, Magda found us. She's always on our heels. Who is she? She claims to know my mother, but how could that be? Regardless, we must beat her to Wortham in the final piece of the sword.
I heard that you took Leah on your searches for ancient artifacts and tomes. Wasn't that dangerous?
Not as dangerous as you might think. There was a calm about the world then. Most people paid no mind to an old man and young girl, weaponless and penniless, crossing their lands.
We were only a step ahead of Magda, but now we have the second sword piece.
I remember a glow streaking towards a fishing village.
That must be Wortham.
Ah, brilliant, dear Leah. Have the ferryman take you there.
Do you know anything about this coven?
I cannot say, but there is something about them, a darkness, that is known to me.
A darkness? That's a little vague, isn't it?
The coven may be part of a greater evil. Perhaps I intended to fight it.
If you're going to fight, you'll need your sword.
The living dead? The Skeleton King? The Khazra? I would not have thought it possible. You have given us all hope. My men, the people of this town, we all owe you a debt of gratitude.
I still have quite a bit to accomplish, I'm afraid.
Nothing that you can't handle, I'm certain.
I lived in Chaldeum not too long ago. You said you were there with your father?
Yes, he was a diplomat. We had a manor with servants and terraces, all of that. Everything changed when the trouble started. Somehow, rumors spread that my grandfather was responsible for the king's madness. My father's work fell apart. No one would speak to him. He kept believing it would blow over, though.
Did it?
No. I'd rather not talk about it now, if you don't mind. I've work to see to. I can tell by the look in your eye that you're not going to leave it alone. You want to hear what happened to my father?
I must admit, I'm curious.
Right, well, my father tried to dispel the rumors about my grandfather. No one would listen. Then one night, a week later, crazed refugees from Tristram came for revenge. I remember my father screaming for us to get out, and nasty laughter. A lot of it. Just before justice shoved me out the window, I saw my father crawling up the stairs at me, with 2 daggers in his back, and a third whipping round his throat.
You've known such tragedy in your life, my friend.
You move on. What else is there?
Where are you from?
Kingsport, the city by the sea, home to the great merchant fleets and endless nets of reeking fish.
And your trade?
I am between jobs at the moment.
You've never done an honest day's work in your life, have you?
Nonsense. I am the most honest thief you will ever meet.
You shouldn't waste time chasing women.
Waste? Time is scarcely better spent.
But you do not keep any of them.
I've only found one worth keeping, but she slipped away from me.
Still, you shouldn't bother every woman who crosses your path.
Well, no. Sometimes they should bother me.
How did you learn to fight?
My brother taught me when we were younger. He thought the crossbow was the best weapon for me since it would give me time to run away if I botched things too badly.
Where is he now?
Oh, he's still in Kingsport. I expect he'll be there a good long time.
Vile things transpire even as we speak. I see a town in flames, and an old friend paying the ultimate price to reveal the truth.
This is not news to me.
Oh, do you have the sight as well?
No, never mind.
I can see the fires even from here. Wortham burns. It is only the truly evil who force the innocents to suffer for a battle they have no part in.
I need to take the ferry to Wortham.
I will take you, but beware. Smoke rises from the village.
We should have known. The farmers left over a fortnight ago. And yet we stayed. Last night, we heard the beasts creeping closer. My husband left to investigate, and I haven't seen him since. All I have left are the things we made together. Hopefully, they are of more use to someone else.
The Tristram fields are fair lands, fertile and temperate. Superstitious farmers kept away from them for quite a while after the fall of Old Tristram. But time has persuaded them to abandon these ridiculous notions and take up the hoe and plough once more. Now they supply crops to both New Tristram and Wortham.
One of the men retrieved a strange artifact in his nets. It looked like a hilt of an ancient blade, but I know it must be more. The fisherman argued with me, but I convinced him to leave it in the safety of the chapel, a holy place for a holy relic. When the church of the Zakarum sent me here, I assumed that my village would be simple and untroubled. To be honest, I was relieved. Corruption has struck down many a greater man than I, and such a quiet place could have been my salvation. But everything changed when disaster struck the Tristram Cathedral.
Mistress, it is my pleasure to report that I have broken the prisoners from Wortham. Words have flowed from their mouths like blood from a wound. Our summoners can retrieve the weapon at your command, and the enemy shall be none the wiser.
They're destroying the town! Get out while you can! By all that is holy, the town is burning!
These cultists come willingly to their deaths. Magda is near.
Please! My family's hiding in the chapel with the rest of the townsfolk. We must get to them!
Don't run off! You'll get yourself killed!
Fools! You cannot keep the sword from me!
This is bad.
My servants will burn this town to ashes!
I hear something coming.
A mighty adversary is before us.
I seek a sword hilt that fell from the sky. It glows with a powerful magic. Do you know of it?
We found it days ago. I wish we'd never brought it here. Come, I left Virgil to guard it. We will be glad to be rid of it.
I'm going back to Tristram to check on Uncle Deckard.
Damn, it's not here.
While you were on your hero's errand here, I captured all 3 sword pieces and your friends.
I should have known. I must get back to Kane's house.
It's your choice, Kane. Either use your Herodric arts to repair the sword, or your dear Leah dies a horrible death.
All this pain, this destruction. What is the sword to you?
To me, nothing. To my master, Belial, everything. Your rage is overwhelming, girl. You win this round, but if the sword cannot be mine, I'll claim the one it's bound to. In the end, the blade shall be mine.
Uncle, you can't die.
Nothing can stop that now. But there is one last thing I must do. The sword must be made whole. Just as I suspected, the sword is of the high heavens. The stranger is an angel. Heed the journal. The truth lies within.
Uncle Deckard!
Uncle Deckard is gone forever. I remember the wonderful times we had together. Always off on another crazy quest. What will I do without him? He believed the stranger was an angel, but he is only a man. I always knew they were just stories. Uncle Deckard died for those stories. If only I could control this power, I could have saved him.
Do not blame yourself. Magda is the one who must pay for Kane's death.
Magda and her master Belial. The
journal speaks of an angel falling from the heavens as the shadow rises from the abyss. The stranger is the key to all of this.
I don't know if he's an angel or a man, but the sword will restore his memory.
When my power erupted, I saw into Magda's mind for an instant. She's fled to the highlands. You can reach them through the caves above Wortham. You have to know, she'll be waiting for you.
She can set all the traps she wants. It won't save her from me.
This damned power I have. Uncle Deckard said it came from my mother. He tried to teach me how to control it using his Herodric training, but it never really helped. He never gave up on me, though. He was a great man. The Drowned Temple was once known as the Sarsium Emporis. It was the most sacred of their temples, a site where legend claims angels would come to impart their wisdom to the Nephilim.
Cain was a good man, who saw beyond what his eyes showed him. This world is made poorer by his loss.
I will make Magda pay for Cain's death.
I am not usually one for vengeance, but in this instance, I hope you make her suffer. A monster of insatiable appetite stands between you and your goal. It is an unnatural thing, raised from the depths by sorcerous means. You will survive it, of course, but I recommend keeping your mouth tightly shut.
Why would my words give it power?
Oh, no. I mean, there will be a lot of demon blood flying around. I hear it tastes like rotten meat.
It's a cruel world that will take Deckard Cain away from us. His was never an easy life, and he gave much for us all.
I will see to it that Magda and her coven pay for Cain's death.
We all pay. Just look at the face of Leah, the poor girl. What price could the coven pay that could be greater than that, huh?
How did you become a thief?
Well, that's a long and terrible story that you wouldn't want to hear.
You found something you liked and couldn't afford?
Basically.
Maybe you should be more reasonable in the future.
Oh, there was nothing reasonable about her.
This is a matter of honor now. We must not hesitate. Hello, Wanderer. I sell quality potions and dyes at a fair price. Have a look if you like. Oh, and would you do me a favor? There's a lunatic down by the caves who wants a potion to make his blood sweet, if you can believe it. Would you mind bringing it down to him?
The alchemist said you were waiting for this potion.
This is perfect. My mistress will now accept me. Her blood and mine will soon sing as one. My queen sings to me. Her music echoes from beyond.
The air hangs heavy with the scent of terror. This does not bode well.
I used to be one of them. Ordinary, untouched, until her voice came to me. Then I knew how I must serve. I must kill the one who threatens my mistress and the dark power that created her. I have been chosen. My mistress has accepted me. Come close and feel her loving embrace.
I don't think I want to meet your mistress.
Spiderlings alone may seem unthreatening, but their presence should be a warning for travelers. For wherever there are spiderlings, there will be matriarchs, and the fully grown arachnids are extremely protective of their young. The spiderlings themselves possess strong appetites, allowing them to do considerable harm to a cornered adventurer. The ubiquitous spider is one of the oldest and most adaptable creatures in the world. It also seems to have acquired an unfortunate susceptibility to magic. When exposed, the arachnids will increase dramatically in size and even cast spells. Due to this hazard, I recommend staying out of dark places whenever possible.
Rumor holds that Archbishop Lazarus loosed a silent terror in the caves near Leoric's manor before he died. He labored for weeks over a group of unusually large spiders, and many of his servants quietly disappeared during this time. The largest creature led the others into the caves. None who have ventured there have returned.
Please, help me. It's horrible. She sucks the innards from her victims. Oh, no, it's too late. I hear her. The Spider Queen is coming.
Spider Queen?
Good. You'll need her venom to dissolve these webs. Please hurry. I can't hang here like this a moment longer. I'll go mad. Thank you. Thank you. Can we please leave this horrible place? It was terrible being stuck in there like that. Thank the gods you came along. What are you doing out here?
I seek a man taken by the Coven.
The Coven? I saw them dragging someone into Leoric's manor house. Perhaps it was the man you seek. You might have a small bit of trouble reaching there, though. I'm not proud of this, but I stole the staff of a powerful Khazra shaman. The Khazra went mad and chased me to the caves. You can find the staff in my cart in the highlands. If you take it to the Khazra barricade, perhaps they will let you pass.
Some devious little goblins have been robbing our merchants. When pursued, they simply open portals and disappear with the most aggravating chuckle. The peasantry seem to believe that the goblins serve a great demon lord known as Greed. And furthermore, that their portals lead to Greed's domain. A ludicrous notion, truly. The large sluggish beasts can thrive in any grassland or forest, provided there is enough water. Farmers will recognize these brutes as the savage cousins of the common pack beast, a tame breed that was likely domesticated nearly 2,000 years ago. One can hardly imagine the trouble that effort must have taken. The wither moth is a curious phenomenon. It is tremendously large for an insect, and somehow its size allows it to expel a charging force when attacked. For this reason, few have survived to study it in great detail, including many notable academics. In fact, please do not inquire further upon this subject. I have heard the most ridiculous tales about travelers being ambushed by vicious trees. It is too much. Despite their names, the wood wraiths are not plants, but fully mobile beasts who have taken on the guise of foliage to ensnare their prey. Only a simpleton could be fooled by such a trick.
Our staff is ours, on Passage! Khazra, Darkers!
Though New Tristram and the fields surrounding it have been resettled over the years, the highlands remain empty save for the crumbling ruins of Leoric's old outposts. The king built more than one watchtower in his paranoia, but now they cannot even ward away goatmen and wild beasts. A tragedy, really.
My loutish companions have no curiosity about the Khazra. They're only interested in the bounty on their heads. But I am convinced the Khazra can be communicated with. It is dangerous, to be sure, but it is a risk I am willing to take.
These cowardly farmers have been leaving the fields for days now, but I'm not about to follow them. My home is here, and a few angry goatmen won't change that.
Everyone is dead. Billard, that damn fool, was killed trying to communicate with the Khazra, and then the cultists showed up. As soon as I saw them, I ran. I wanted no part of their dark magic. I heard the screams of my companions, but there was nothing I could do to help.
The local Khazra tribes have become a serious threat. They attack caravans and are moving into areas where they haven't been seen before. We need you to take care of this problem for us. We'll pay 25 gold pieces for every Khazra head you bring back.
Long I have laboured to master the dark arts. Now I finally reap the rewards. For Magda has acknowledged me. She promised me a special task that will bring endless glory to the Great One. I can hardly rest until she reveals it on the morrow. Goatman. All of my labours were for a bunch of rotten, stinking goatmen. Magda claims that they will become our most valuable allies, and that the task is one that she can entrust to no one but me. But I know my place. I am most bruisingly humbled. Enslaving the goatmen was easier than I anticipated. My magic seemed to reignite the savagery deep within them, and they flocked to me in hordes. A few escaped, those who understood the fate of their people. But they are too weak to counter my spells. The Moon Clan attacks at my command.
Dal Narsi tu Khazra.
What kind of dark summoning is this?
Too late, fool. I control these spirits now.
Magda is a fool, I will raise an army of souls from these primitives and chain them to my invincible will. Yes, with these heathens at my command, the kingdoms of the world shall bow to the might of the Lord of Goats! I may have to work on the title a bit more.
The haunted manor. Of course they'd be drawn here.
She's unstoppable! No mortal could slaughter our brethren with such...
She is here.
I believe it is time to kill more cultists.
Delay her while I prepare her demise in the depths below.
They did horrible things to us.
They have paid for what they did to you. But there was another prisoner, a man in rags.
Yes, the man with the golden eyes. I saw Magda take him into Leoric's old torture chambers below us.
I will kill Magda for what she's done.
Bring her to me that I may rend the flesh from her bones!
Evil wears no disguises here. I heard tales about the fall of King Leoric when I was young, but seeing it with my own eyes, it is another thing entirely.
Help me! I'm trapped! In here! In the Iron Maiden! God bless you! I was certain I was gonna die in there. I heard rumors of vast treasure to be found down here. A damn fool that I am, I believed them. Don't know why I thought it might be inside an Iron Maiden. All I could think of while I was trapped in that horrible darkness was that no one would ever know what had happened to me.
I am Asilla, once queen to our beloved Leoric. My servants and I were consumed by his madness. Now I give you my blessing, champion, to release my people from their eternal torment.
13th day of Lunasad, 1263, Anno Kyrgyzstani. The Jaivas burned runes into my flesh. They say all the torture and dark magic will turn us into demonic slaves for King Leoric. What foolish lies. 17th day of Lunasad. Oh, pain is terrible. I can't think. I'm so hungry. 20th day of Lunasad. Master, I hunger. Master, feed me.
Freedom. At long last. Freedom.
What? Who dares?
The gods have seen fit to release me from this torment. Praise Akorath.
My gods! There is someone amongst us. Deal with her harshly.
Thank the gods. I am free.
Thank you, champion. My servants are now free, but the curse over this place remains. Seek the warden at the dungeon center and end his evil forever.
Am I alone here? Must I do this myself? So be it. Face me, and repent your crimes.
Starved of the sun, I no longer know what day it is. I can hear the warden, my husband, and that dog Lazarus discussing my fate. My life will be over soon, yet I fear more for my poor Albrecht's future in the wake of his father's madness. If only Aiden were here.
My lord, the prisoner is ready, as you requested.
Thank you, Lazarus. Your loyalty is invaluable in the midst of all these traitors.
And you, my dear, my own wife and queen, conspiring against our kingdom.
My love, I swear, I have never betrayed you.
Lies, until the very end.
A grim end to a noble woman. I am proud to have played my part in Leoric's fall.
The time of my lord's true awakening is at hand. That fool Leoric was only able to resist him because he did not yet possess his full power. With the Queen dispatched as a traitor, I may now devote myself fully to preparing the boy for the presence of my master.
The right to wear a crown is granted by the light. It requires the darkness of a corrupted heart to lose it.
I need more bodies. You think my summoners can just conjure up a demon whenever it pleases them?
We must have blood. Fresh blood, mind you. And human flesh to bolster our magic. I will be expecting a reply from you shortly. Of all the abominable stalling, in case it was not clear, I need the sacrifices now! I've heard enough of your idle complaints that the villagers have fled from the highlands, leaving no one left to sacrifice. You'd best come up with something, or it's your hide we'll be flaying.
Leah must be back in Tristram crying over the old man's corpse. She'll soon have another one to cry over. Yours. Meet the butcher.
Fresh meat! Run, coward! I eat your flesh!
The truth about the Butcher Demon was more startling than I ever anticipated. Evidently, there are many of them within the burning hells, though they used to be solely under Diablo's command. The Butchers are stitched together from the parts of other demons to combine their strengths, then given life through wicked magic.
I am dying.
Take your sword, Angel.
My sword. I remember now. I was an archangel of the high heavens. I was the embodiment of justice. I am Tyrael. You have restored my mind, friend. And now, I remember the warning I came to deliver. Belial and Asmodan, the last lords of hell, are unleashing a tide of darkness that will drown this world. Already, Belial's shadow has fallen upon Chaldeum.
Belial? I look forward to killing a Lord of Hell. Should be an interesting battle.
We must move quickly. Let us return to Tristram and make ready. Time grows short, my friends. Even now, Belial's influence is spreading through Chaldeum.
But how will we find him?
We won't have to. Magda and her coven will lead us straight to him.
I'm not going anywhere until Uncle Deckard's been laid to rest.
Yes, Cain deserves to be honored, before we hunt down his killers.
I have called for a caravan to guide us to the east. Speak to the caravan master when you are ready to go. We will see to Cain as we depart.
Who are Belial and Asmodan?
Belial is the Lord of Lies. He desires power before all other things, and his 1,000 schemes are designed toward this end. His brother, Asmodan, reigns over the other half of hell as the Lord of Sin. I sense his influence in this world, but I do not yet know where he will strike.
Perhaps when I kill Belial, Asmodan will show himself.
They are more rivals than allies in these days, but I pray that you are right.
Where do we go next? To the Great Desert?
We go to Chaldeum.
Chaldeum? Yes, the great jewel of the East!
Chaldeum is a city, not an actual jewel.
I knew that.
You told me that your order saved your soul by recruiting you. What are these sins that haunt you?
I cannot tell you.
No good comes from ignoring your past. You should seek knowledge, not hide from it.
You misunderstand me. We are literally unable to recall our pasts. The Inquisitors stripped my sins and the memory of them from me, leaving me pure.
Tell me more about your order. Why did they make you forget your past?
Our initiation blinds us to our sinful pasts, so that we might clearly see the future and prepare for the final battle.
I have read of a number of ways to make someone lose their memory. How does your order do it?
I was chained to a wall and beaten. By the 3rd day I was mad from pain and hunger, and that is when the whipping began. I was told I relived all of my transgressions, everything that brought me tainted joy. The whip took away that joy, then the sin, leaving me pure.
That's I'm sorry, but they treated you like an animal. Worse than an animal.
Don't you understand? The Templar Order is trying to protect humanity from extinction. What is my pain against that goal?
In the Ishari Sanctum, certain books were considered forbidden. No one was permitted to lay eyes on them.
That is wise. Knowledge can indeed corrupt.
No, you're wrong. One of those books held the prophecy that brought me here. Your order binds you in rules and calls you a sinner. What if you were to recover your memories and find no sin in your past at all?
I cannot lie. That has occurred to me. But if it were true, it would ruin everything I fight for. Everything.
Do you ever doubt your choices?
Often, but I make them anyway.
Things never seem to turn out like I hope they will.
You must be bold and move forward.
Try living in the slums before you lecture me.
I have, when I was a child. Perhaps you're right.
My friend, shall we depart to Caldeum?
It was all just stories. My uncle saw what he wanted to see.
Deckard sacrificed much to protect this world. But his work is not over.
What would you know about sacrifice?
Tyrael, the ancient law of the high heavens strictly forbids us from interfering with the mortal world. Yet you have done so, brazenly. All I am guilty of, Imperius, is bringing justice, while you hide, cowering behind your throne. Silence! You will now answer for your transgressions. You cannot judge me. I am justice itself. We were meant for more than this. To protect the innocent. But if our precious laws bind you all to inaction, then I will no longer stand as your brother.
You chose to be one of us.
Sacrilege. Thus, I fell, willingly. Because humanity is the only hope for this world.
I never believed all your crazy tales. The work. You never finished. I will finish it, Uncle. I will carry on for you.